Hello everyone, Resin86 here, bringing you another replay, this time in the Caernarvon, the Tier 8 British heavy tank. Now last week we were talking about scouting, passive scouting, active scouting, and Swiss scouting, which basically gets you blown up into smithereens. This week we're going to be talking a little bit more about active scouting thanks to that WZ-132 crossing the field. So remember last week we discussed mostly passive scouting, and thanks to a beautiful performance by KWP5 in his 131, he managed to get over 10,000 spotting damage, which is epic. So the 111, the WZ-111 and myself, we go to the hill that's just south of the Magic Forest that has a lot of trees and foliage and bushes, which will allow us to get a very good spot for sniping into the Magic Forest. Now we're the only two tanks here along with that WZ-132. Fortunately, he is going to make a couple of scouting runs. We try to hit the AMX 1390, but looking at the map, he's very, very far away. He's behind a lot of buildings. We're probably not going to get a shot at him anyway. So, something you must always do is what this WZ-132 is about to do in a little bit. You must always announce when you're spotting. There it is. You must always announce when and where. He's pinging the map right now, telling us where he's going to be scouting. We say, the 111 and myself, we say, dude, go for it. We've got your back. Now, he starts his scouting run by going towards the Magic Forest, but notice he does not enter the Magic Forest. He just goes down the tree line on the sides. He spots us at T30, which we try to focus down. He spots a T95 as well, more than enough. Now it's time to get the hell out and get back into cover. We managed to focus down the T30. Fortunately, he disappears right there, but the 111 does manage to hit him. Unfortunately, the 132 also manages to take a hit from the T95 for over 700 damage. But hey, our scout is alive, their tank destroyer is dead. I'd say that's a good trade. We congratulate the 132 on his great scouting run. He does tell us that he probably will not be going for a little while, but hey, that's understandable. He lost 3/4 of his health. But now we're joined by a Leopard Prototype A. Now, he's doing something, he's gonna do something at least, that light tanks do usually for scouting, for active scouting, which is peeking. They go up a hill or a sand dune, and they peek and they get back down. He tries to do that, but unfortunately he lingers, which is something you must never do, and he gets punished for it by getting almost all of his health removed. I do avenge that damage by ammo racking the T69. Now, T5041 is spotted there. The 111 takes a shot at him. I'm about to take a shot at him as well. He is spotted by the T25-2. I miss my shot. The Patton finishes off the T25-2, unfortunately. But the 5041 is killed by the Prototype A. I believe I tracked the Patton. I'm not quite sure. So I keep firing at that direction, hopefully actually doing some damage, but hey, you never know. 132 announces again that he's going in. He pings the map where he's going. I say go for it. The 111 says go for it. Now, he's going down the same route. He's going hugging the tree line. He manages to spot a 1390 and the other T30 on the enemy team, the T95 and the Patton as well. He turns around and gets the hell out. Fortunately, this time he does not take any damage, but he does linger a little bit too long. He is ducking and dodging the shots, fortunately, so thankfully he does not take any damage. He spots the 1390 again. I aim for him, but he manages to take the kill before I'm able to fire. Now he's going to come back, he's going to get into cover, but the Prototype A decides to go into the forest, which is a bad idea. We will be discussing why later, although it's pretty obvious he does get himself killed. The two Tigers get back into the fog of war, they disappear. T95 does get spotted. Unfortunately, he is behind cover and we're not able to take a shot at him. A KV-1S also appears, but we cannot take a shot at him either. So now that the prototype is dead, the 132 decides, hey, I'm going to try to light those tigers. He pings the map where he's going to try to go. He's going to try to spot him. We say, dude, go for it. We're aiming at that region, that area in general. But now what he ends up doing is going on a scouting run, but going through the forest, down that little road, and trying to get into the enemy base. He spots the AT-15. We try to focus him down as fast as possible, but he does manage to find the Tiger 2, T-95, and the other T-30 as well. Now the T-30, for me at least, is the squishiest, so I try to focus him down. Unfortunately, our 132, after spotting the RD, gets taken out by the Tiger 2, but at least he's done his job, he's done a good job, and hey, kudos to him. He did an awesome job. Congratulate him. Both of us, the 111 and myself, congratulate him for doing a great job. And now, we're winning 10-7 in a little while after this Tiger 2 is dead, which is going to happen in a couple seconds. It's going to be 11-7, 11-8 now that our Tiger 2 was also taken out. T-95 is spotted, but we don't have a shot at him, at least not right now. So the 111 and myself, we decide to go into the forest. Now the reason it's a good idea now and not back when the prototype tried to do it is mostly because most of the tanks were not spotted. At least those Tiger 2s had not been spotted yet at that particular time of the match. So it provides a much, much higher risk if you try to do that, especially if you get spotted and there's no cover around. So the 132 is now dead, obviously. The 111 and myself, we go down the forest. The 111 does manage to spot the Artie right about now. There he is. We both take a shot at him. He manages to get the kill though. And now we start taking a few shots because we did get spotted by artillery. Tiger 2 is lit up. We fire at him. He dies very, very fast. And now here's the only damage I managed to take for the whole game, which is about 900 damage from the T-95. We aim for his weak spot. Fortunately, unlike last game, we hit it and we do damage. T-30 is about to get destroyed as well, and that's game. Onto the score screens, we managed to get over 54,000 credits and over 2,800 XP. This was doubled. It was the first match of the day. We also managed to get a Confederate medal. We fired 23 shots, 17 of those hit, 16 penetrated for a total damage of 3,894. We only received one hit with a potential damage of 750. Obviously, it did more around 900 damage. He did get a very high roll. But we did manage to damage 10 of the enemy tanks, only destroying one, but we did manage to damage 10 of them, which gave us our Confederate medal. Now, seeing this was a team effort, the WZ-111 managed to fire 14 shots, only hit 12 of those. Obviously, he has a much slower reload than I do, but he does pack a bigger punch as well. He managed to do over 4,500 damage. But at the same time, he was the one that went in front. He took more damage as well. He received 3 hits, 2 of those penetrated, 1 bounced. He received a total potential damage of 1,800. He managed to damage 8 of the enemy tanks, and he destroyed 4 of them. And finally, the 132. He only fired 4 shots. He only hit 3 of those. All 3 penetrated, fortunately, but apparently only a couple of them did damage. He did a total damage of 333. He received only 3 hits. He took a potential damage of 1,300, but that's not what's important. He was our eyes, and he did a great job. He spotted 6 of the enemy tanks. He damaged 3 of them, but he spotted 6 of them. He destroyed the AMX 1390, but he got us spotting damage, true spotting damage, not assistance damage by tracking, spotting damage of 6,545. He did, I believe, an awesome job. Alright guys, as you can tell, this week it's about the active scouting. Last week was the passive, so this week is the active, and next week is not going to be the Swiss Scouting because I have no replays of Swiss Scouting, and I do not want to get replays of Swiss Scouting. So, passive scouting, as you can remember, hopefully, is the art of knowing every single map, knowing every nook and cranny of every single map, and finding the perfect spot to hide and to set up your camo net, to set up your binoculars, and wait. What makes it very hard, obviously, as you can infer or remember, is it requires a lot of patience. Active scouting is almost totally the opposite. The only thing they share is that the end result is to get lights and to spot the enemy tanks so that your tanks can actually do the damage and therefore win the game. Active scouting, as hopefully you've been able to tell from the replay, is getting in, getting close and personal, and getting the hell out. Now, just like the hard part of passive scouting is the patience, the active scouting requires a little bit more intelligence. I say this because active scouting is all about the forethought. Successful active scouting is all about the forethought. You don't only have to know where you're going to go, you don't only have to know when you're going to go, you also have to know how the hell you're going to get out of there. This is very important and is something that a lot of scouting tanks, scouting drivers forget. You have to know how the hell you're going to get out of there, because otherwise you just go in once and you explode and die in a fiery heap of metal. So active scouting is the art of knowing where you're going to go, when you're going to go, and more importantly, how the hell you're going to get out of there. That is extremely important. Otherwise, you're just going in and dying. And that is not what you want to do, because usually that ends up being completely in vain and not achieving anything except your own death and one less gun on the field, and more importantly, one less scout on the field. Finally, the last ingredient of active scouting, one that is not mandatory, it's not required, but it is advised, is cojones. You heard me, cojones. You need guts, you need courage to be able to go out in a very, very, very lightly armored tank at a very, very, very high speed against very, very, very heavy tanks with very, very, very big guns. That requires courage and that requires nerves of steel, because you have to act and react at split-second timings and be able to survive and still carry out your plan of when, where, and how the hell to get out. Alright guys, if you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more information and for updates as to when the next video is going to come out. If you agree with my point of view, or more importantly, if you disagree with me, please leave a comment, explain your point of view. We'll debate about it if at all possible, and stay tuned because there will be more to come.